What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. Now you guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely gonna want to check this one out. Folks, we have yet another Democratic sanctuary city mayor messing around and quickly finding out if we now have that mayor of Portland, Oregon in some serious legal heat after his latest message to the Trump administration after deploying federal troops to his city, guys. And I'm excited to get into this one, so we're not straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, stop straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Welcome in here to Live Now from Fox. We do have some breaking news for you. We're learning here that President Trump is going to be sending troops to Portland, Oregon. Here's what we're learning. He said today he's going to send those troops there to handle, quote, domestic terrorists as he expands his deployments to more American cities. He made the announcement on social media, and we're going to share that post here with you right now. Let's read it. It says, at the request of Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, I am directing Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any of our ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. I'm also authorizing full force if necessary. Thank you for your attention to this matter. This just coming out on Truth Social moments ago. President Trump said the decision, as you just heard there, was necessary to protect U.S. immigration and customs enforcement facilities, which he described as under siege from attack. Now, since the assassination of Charlie Kirk, President Trump has escalated his efforts to confront what he calls the, quote, radical left, which he blames for the country's problems with political violence. Earlier in September, President Trump had described living in Portland as, quote, like living in hell, and said he was considering sending in federal troops, as he has recently threatened to do, to combat crime in other cities, including Chicago and Baltimore.
Stay out of Seattle. That's the message from several Seattle city leaders to President Trump as they prepare for the possibility of federal troops in the community.
Fox 13's Alejandro Guzman was at today's press conference at City Hall asking questions to Mayor Bruce Harrell and Attorney General Nick Brown.
Everyone wants to know what's the likelihood that we'll see troops patrolling our streets. And while that answer is still not clear today, what we do know is that Mayor Harrell plans to release an executive order with his plan of action in the event that the White House does mobilize the Washington National Guard.
We do not need the federal government bringing in armored vehicles, semi-automatic weapons, military personnel to make quote-unquote us safer.
Inside Seattle City Hall, Mayor Bruce Harrell stood shoulder to shoulder with Washington Attorney General Nick Brown, making it clear they'll fight any attempt by President Trump to send troops into the city.
There is no force in American politics that is more reckless and destructive than the current president of the United States.
Hundreds of people showed up outside an ICE facility in Portland to protest President Trump's decision. That sparked reaction from U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
These are not peaceful protests. These are coordinated attacks by radical extremists, and they end now. Anyone who threatens or assaults our federal officers will be arrested and charged federally.
Washington Attorney General Nick Brown responding in Monday's press conference by saying,
Seattle is certainly not war ravaged, neither is Portland. We do not see anything happening here that would lead or generate an insurrection.
Brown says Washington is ready to challenge the administration in court, but the question here is, who does the National Guard respond to? Governor Bob Ferguson or their commander-in-chief?
They wear dual hats, and they are often put in very challenging positions.
His strategy, and I'm referring to President Trump, his strategy only serves to escalate tensions and continue to breed mistrust. Our message today is very clear. Stay out of Seattle.
All right, folks, those clips gave us a little brief context on what's been going on behind the scenes over in the state of Oregon, specifically those cities of Seattle and Portland. And now we have a breaking news tweet headline coming from our friend Benny Johnson here that says our Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has officially announced that he's now ordered the National Guard troops into Portland for the next 60 days. And we can see this memo right here coming from the desk of our Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, and he is not messing around. Of course, this has sparked tons of controversy. We have the Democratic leadership over in the state of Oregon absolutely losing their stuff, saying that their cities are not war ravaged and there is no need to send federal troops.
You know, I was outside of the ICE facility twice this weekend. I saw 3 women protesting. There's been a couple of incidents over the last couple months, but nothing with outside of the normal function of police.
Hello, Oregon. Governor Kotek here. Contrary to President Trump's latest social media post, Portland is not war ravaged. There's no insurrection, there's no threat to national security, and there's no need for military troops. Military service members should be dedicated to real emergencies. And that's exactly what I said to the president when I asked him to stand down from sending federal troops into our city. But just in case that phone call wasn't enough, I thought I would take to the streets myself right here in downtown Portland. I'm standing just blocks away from the waterfront, overlooking the beautiful Willamette River, Portland City Hall, the federal courthouse, and dozens of shops and restaurants here in the central city. We do have challenges here in Portland, in Oregon, and across the country. The cost of living is too high, we need to build more housing that people can afford, and we need to always work on having the best schools possible. So let's keep the focus on the real problems, not the made-up ones. In my conversations directly with President Trump and Secretary Noem, I have been abundantly clear with them that Portland and the state of Oregon believe in the rule of law, and we can manage our own local public safety needs. There is no insurrection, there is no threat to national security, and there is no need for military troops in our major city. Military service members should be dedicated to real emergencies. The members of the Oregon National Guard, their mission is to stand up and protect Oregonians, and they will do that every day, but they are not needed in the city. They are not needed here.
The number of necessary troops is 0 in Portland and any other American city. And let me repeat that. This is an American city. We do not need any intervention. This is not a military target.
So once again, we're seeing that same old tired playbook of the Dems, the Democratic leadership. This time it's from the folks who represent the state of Oregon, coming out and attempting to gaslight the public to say that they did not request any help. There is no need for National Guard or the troops to be deployed within their city. But we've got Tina here, which was the governor that you've seen speaking with the white hair and the pink shirt previously in that clip. This is Tina here that lives in a 10,000 square foot historic mansion on 9 acres in Salem, secured with walls and gates. Her and her family are protected 24/7, folks. Yes, 24/7 by an Oregon State Police security detail. So, of course, it's very easy to come out and say that there is no need or request for help or the troops to be deployed when you got 24/7 security or police detail surrounding your house and you're in a gated community. There is no need for help. But what about the folks who are living in the city and they're seeing this firsthand? They don't have that security detail. They're crying for help. Meanwhile, residents are forced to sit and suffer and watch crime continue to rise. I found this right here, this clip of an illegal that was caught stealing thousands in baby formula and fake panhandling to try to get more money. Check this out.
I copy, thank you.
Okay. I think you're gonna need more cart.
Wow, folks, this says a lot about the crime problem over there in the state of Oregon. To see someone who's in our country illegally having the audacity to steal this much merchandise in that little bit of time says a lot. I mean, this lady stole over $5,500 worth of baby formula from not one, but 2 different stores in less than 20 minutes. It really does speak to the crime problem that they have over there in their state. And I want to flip to a flashback of old Hillary Clinton and her words of advice for folks who are in our country illegally who commit crimes.
So I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
Yes, guys, coming straight from the horse's mouth. You heard it from Hillary Clinton saying to deport any illegal who commits a crime. And today, the left will call her a far-right extremist if she repeated these same exact lines. But I mean, this is something that just makes the most sense. If you're in our country illegally and then you have the audacity to commit a crime on top of that, you deserve to be sent back. I mean, you guys are supposed to be in line from the get-go. But I know folks are out there right now like Retro. This is just one instance with the baby formula. It does not, point directly to crime on the rise or on an all-time high over there in the state of Oregon. Well, I got it right here for you folks. You don't have to take my word for it. I actually have Oregon residents coming out crying for help, saying, please, Trump, deploy the National Guard, send the troops over here to clean up crime in our cities.
I am so happy that Trump is sending the National Guard in here. I live in this building. We both live in this building. We've been asking for help for months, and we're finally going to get it.
When do you think they're coming?
When? Not soon enough, man. Not soon enough.
What do you want to see happen?
I want him to come in and mess them up and just annihilate these people. Whatever force they need. Gals like her and the other people that live in the building. Watch out. They're the ones. They're the ones that I'm concerned about. So they're afraid to come out of the building. So I've been coming out every night, every day to help them, to make sure that they're okay. She won't even leave the building with them.
Are you afraid of the protesters?
Very. It's an extreme mob mentality to me, which means nothing is as it should be.
So are you excited that Trump's deploying the troops here?
Very excited. I cannot wait.
I can't wait for them to leave.
Forever and ever. Amen.
And what did I tell you guys? You do not have to take my word for it. That right there was an everyday American, a resident of Portland, Oregon, and coming out and saying he's so thankful and glad that President Trump has finally heard their cries for help by sending and deploying the National Guard. But get this, guys, instead of agreeing that this is the help that they needed over in Portland, we now have that mayor of Portland, Keith Wilson, issuing an ICE facility a notice for land use violation because they're detaining illegals. Makes no sense.
Hello, I'm Keith Wilson, Portland's mayor. I'm here to share an important update about the Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in Southwest Portland. Following a formal investigation into the facility's detention practices, the City of Portland will soon issue a notice of land use violation. Federal records show that ICE violated its land use conditions of approval 25 times in 10 months by detaining people for more than 12 hours or keeping them overnight. I'm here to thank our community for shining a light on these concerns and to thank our staff for conducting a thorough and thoughtful review. I want to be clear about what this means. This is just one step in a formal process. The outcome is not a foregone conclusion, and the federal government will be given an opportunity to respond. However, we must remember this review was triggered by the federal government's breaking promises to our community regarding the detention of human beings. Whatever comes of this process, I hope you will join me in celebrating and supporting Portland's immigrant community and standing in solidarity with all those who've been impacted by the actions of the federal government in recent days.
I mean, talk about tone deaf. That was that Portland mayor saying that he's issuing a land use violation to the ICE detention facility for holding these illegal migrants a little too long inside of ICE custody. It makes no sense to me, and this only sparked further chaos. We now seen hundreds of folks gathering and starting a protest outside of ICE facilities. And once again, this is exactly what they wanted. They want to make a huge spectacle and make it out to seem like the Trump administration are a bunch of bad guys that are overreaching and overstepping with their power. But this is exactly what the residents have been calling and crying for, is help, for someone to actually stand up and do something. But wait, guys, this gets so much better, as we then seen the MAGA supporters crash in these anti-ICE rallies with "Christ is King" chants.
Christ is King! 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 Go! Jesus Christ, now forever! No Brits are welcome here, no hate! No fear! No Brits are welcome here, no hate! No fear! No Brits are welcome!
Oh my, this stuff is just getting too good. I love when we see a good old counter protest to these anti-ICE protesters, true America First patriots, coming out, MAGA supporters saying, hey, if you guys can protest, we can protest your protest. This thing gets even better when we then see Department of Homeland Security agents surprise attacking these protesters who were gathered in the streets, obstructing traffic, saying, hey, you guys have to move or you're going to be arrested. Seems as if the chants got a little bit more quiet when they see in the face of Department of Homeland Security agents emerging from that ICE detention facility. And this thing went all the way into the night, with Portland PD then being forced to issue warnings for the crowd to leave the streets or either face arrest.
To make targeted arrests for an assault. Don't interfere with officers. If you interfere with officers, you may be subject to arrest or use of force.
Leave with people, alright? If you did hot shit, get out. Come back tomorrow. You're better, way more effective outside of a prison cell. If you did hot shit, leave.
Authority to direct traffic on public ways. You are ordered to move to the sidewalk.
Stay on it.
Now it looks like the police officers are pulling back. So we'll let this play out here. Yes. Yeah, the protest. The protesters out here have filled the streets again.
Talk about a big FAFO moment, messing around and quickly finding out that you can't do that. Oh my goodness, seeing folks being walked out, escorted out in cuffs, ICE agents untouched once again. But it gets even better as we see this Black America First patriot doing the unthinkable and actually confronting these rioters, challenging them to all reveal their identities and where they work at.
Oh, hey, I seen you on YouTube. I was watching on live, and you were protecting a female. I came down here because of you.
Thank you.
Because I seen you on YouTube. There's a guy watching you, and I seen everyone, and I was like, I told my girl, I was like, nah, f that. I gotta go down there. I live out in Beaverton, and I wear this hat every day at work. I work at Safeway, and don't no one say shit. But yeah.
So then what do you think of what's happening right now?
They obviously don't have a job. How do you guys pay rent? Hey. How do you pay rent?
I got my own spot. I'll get you with a hat.
How do you pay rent?
Hey, listen, I got a job. Check my bag. Hey, I got a job right here. I work at Taco Bell.
Okay.
I work at Taco Bell. I just got off.
Hey, I respect that. Who else has a job? What do you do? Take off your mask. Let me see.
Wow, Now, guys, we got to remember this guy's face right here. Talk about doing the Lord's work. Actually confronting these anti-ICE protesters face to face. You can see that they're not really as tough as they portray themselves to be. Oh my, and I wanted to end this one on a little bit more a lighter note. We got this one coming from our friend Colin Rugg here on X, and this is a Massachusetts woman getting out of her car without putting it in park to yell at ICE agents making an arrest, and then the car ultimately rolls into a lake and sinks. This is remarkable. Talk about a Karen moment.
Well, that sucks. Look at this, Lucy. Her car got lost.
And I think the best part about this
Well, that sucks.
is right here where the ICE agent, just wait for it, walks by with the suspect in custody, still after her yelling and doing all that hooting and hollering. The ICE agent still arrests who they came to get. Oh my goodness. Sometimes it's best to just mind your own business. This one right here made me laugh, gave me a good chuckle, and I thought I would end it on a lighter note. But of course, this has X and the internet in a complete frenzy, with us now seeing President Donald Trump deploying sending the troops over into Oregon. And I want to check out the perspective of the folks over here on X. Let's see what they had to say. First up here, we got our friend MAGA Voice tweeting out, breaking: Portland police have just started unmasking Antifa as they arrest them. Huge. Keep it going. Yes, and we heard that from that Black America First patriot there on the street. Said, hey, where do you work at? Oh, you work at Taco Bell. Okay, what about this person here? Where do you work? Matter of fact, can you take your mask off? I just don't get it. I mean, you guys are so big and brave for the cause. Why do you come in here masked up? You should show your face so that your employers, your friends, and your families can see exactly who's out here causing all this chaos. Next, we have our friend Stef here on X tweeting out saying, Portland is a disaster. I live in San freaking Francisco and will not visit Portland. And that says something. And it really does when you look at what's been going over there in the state of California in general. I mean, it's been pretty bad, especially in San Francisco. Heck, seeing them locking up in pharmacies and, grocery stores. They're locking up razors and deodorant, you guys, in those cabinets behind lock and key. You have to buzz someone to get it. If he's saying that he won't visit over there in the state of Oregon, it means a lot. It means it's really bad. Worse than San Francisco? Oh my. And next up here, we have our friend Nurse RN on X tweeting out saying that we have allowed our enemies through open borders and we have terrorist organizations terrorizing the ordinary good citizens in Portland. This right here is where we have to draw the line and say that, hey, this stops right here. I mean, the buck has to stop somewhere. So glad to see the Trump administration not taking these, these cries and calls for help lightly and actually doing some stepping up, unlike the Democratic leadership over there in the state of Oregon. And last but certainly not least, we have a retweet from Nancy Mace of a True Social post coming from our president, Donald J. Trump, where he says, make crime illegal again. You heard that, make crime illegal again. I'm not sure when we start allowing and giving out these get out of jail free pass for all these criminals that, commit crimes in our cities. It's time to start holding these folks accountable again. So the criminals, the future criminals, can see that there is repercussions and consequences for their actions. Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. Talk about a lot going on. There is tons of stuff going on over there in the state of Oregon, specifically Seattle and Portland. Those cities don't look too hot right now. But the Trump administration is not going to sit by and allow this continue to get out of hand. Quickly acting as we now have our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, deploying the troops, saying, hey, the National Guard has come in and do the same thing that we've seen in cities like Chicago, over there in LA when they had chaos going on. I mean, we've seen how quickly they did a full turnaround over in DC. This is exactly the answer that we need right here. I'm excited to see where this one goes. Even though Democratic leadership continues to fight, we may see them getting themselves into some serious legal trouble if they continue down this very wrong path, guys. I'll continue to follow any updates that come right here with your boy RetroStef, guys, but definitely hop in that comment section. Comments are open. I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking on this one. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one.